Hey guys, JK back with you here and welcome back to FUNNELIZE. We're going to continue with our retargeting training by actually building our Facebook custom audiences. Now, if you remember earlier on in this module, I showed you how to put together the Facebook pixel, how to install it on all the pages of your site and test it to make sure that it's working. Well, the Facebook pixel is great and all that, but unfortunately it doesn't do anything unless you go and create some custom audiences with the data that the pixel is able to collect. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. I'm going to show you how to put together a very simple custom audience based on people visiting the opt-in page but not visiting the boost page. And that will allow us then to basically run a retargeting ad to everybody who did visit the opt-in page but did not actually opt in to get our lead magnet, and therefore they haven't moved through the rest of the funnel. So let's jump into Ads Manager and I'll show you exactly how to do this. So I'm here inside of Ads Manager, and this is the same Ads Manager account that I used in the Facebook Pixel video. It's just a demo account. There's no real information in here. Now, before I continue, it is worth pointing out that even if you don't intend to run any type of Facebook advertising right now, I still recommend that you go and do this. The main reason is because anytime in the next 6 months, if you find out that you just want to try with maybe a $20 or even just a $5 budget to see how all these retargeting ads actually work, you'll continue to be saving data all the time. And as someone who's done this for a long time with a bunch of different data applications and data mining software, let me just tell you one thing. There is no amount of data that is ever too much. If you're able to collect information from Facebook, from Google, from anywhere else, you should absolutely jump on any opportunity to save and manage data about visitors to any page of your funnel. So that being said, let's go to the top menu here and go down to Audiences. If you don't see Audiences, come over to All Tools, go over to Ad Sets and choose Audiences from here. Now, when you first come onto this page, if you've never made a custom audience before, your page is going to look like this. If you have made a custom audience, you will see the data of your custom audiences right here. What you're going to do next is choose Create a Custom Audience, and then you're going to choose Website Traffic. Now, in this window, this is where we're actually going to tell Facebook the pages to monitor for our custom audience. So in order to tell Facebook the correct information, we want to go over to our site and grab the URL of our opt-in page, and later we're going to be grabbing the URL of our boost page. Again, this process would work exactly the same regardless of the retargeting audience that you're putting together. You just want to have the URL of one particular page and the URL of the next page that you would want to send that person to within your funnel. So to start off with, I'm going to grab the URL of my dummy opt-in page here. I'm going to go back here to my custom audiences, and now there's a couple things that you absolutely need to make sure that you do. So make sure you watch this part of the video very carefully and follow along exactly as I do. To start off with, up at the top here where it says include people who meet any of the following criteria, you want to change this to include people who meet all of the following criteria. Make sure that you have the correct Facebook pixel selected here. This is probably only going to be one to choose from here anyway. If you're using a business account, there might be multiple pixels. In that case though, chances are you're probably not actually watching this video anyway. Now, if you go down here to all website visitors, we want to change this to people who visited specific web pages. And then over here where it says in the past 30 days, we want to stretch this for as long as possible because we want Facebook to keep as much information over as long a time as possible. So in case we ever decide to use these custom audiences, we're able to save at least 6 months worth of data. Next up, we're going to come down here to where it says contains, and we're going to drop in the URL of our opt-in page right into this box right here. Now make sure this says contains. Sometimes it will default to equals, or sometimes it might say it doesn't contain. So make sure you choose contains here. The reason I don't recommend using equals is because if you ever change this URL for whatever reason, unfortunately Facebook will not be able to access and store the information in the custom audience because you've told it to only monitor this exact URL. So what I recommend is changing this to contains, and anytime you're changing any of your opt-ins or boost pages or any pages in your funnel in the future, just change them by adding a 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. onto the end of the domain name, or sorry, onto the end of the URL. That way, because you have contains selected here within the Facebook custom audiences parameters, it's not going to affect anything if you go ahead and add in 50 numbers on the end. As long as this part is still included in the URL, you'll perfectly be fine. Now, we're not quite done yet because right now Facebook is just going to create a custom audience of people who visit this page. What we need to do is tell it to make sure it doesn't include anybody who does visit the boost page. So to do that, we're going to go over here to exclude, and then down here we want to make sure we choose also people who visited specific web page. We also want to put in the same number as we put in up here. So if you only want to save information over the past 30 days, choose 30 up here and choose 30 down here. These numbers have to be exactly the same for this to work properly. Next up, we're also going to choose contains here. We're going to go back to our boost page in this case. We're going to go grab the URL back to the custom audiences, and then we're going to drop in the URL right there. Now, same as before, you want to go ahead and make sure this says contains for the exact same reason as up here. If you ever go and change this URL, just do it by adding a 1 on the end and then a 2 depending on any changes that you actually go and make. And that's it. We're just going to go ahead here, make sure this says people who visited specific web pages, people who visited specific web pages. This has to say all up here. Make sure these numbers match, and then you're going to go ahead and give your audience a name. You can name it whatever you like. I'm just going to go ahead here and just call it, let's say funnel gateway retargeting. And then we go here and create audience. We'll give it a second here. And right now it says that the availability is ready, it's populating, and the size is below 1,000. Now this is likely to change in a couple of minutes and say not available, just because nobody has visited these actual pages, because number one, they're dummy pages, obviously. Number two, this is a brand new pixel and I haven't sent any traffic to those pages. And also just the fact that you need to have at least 100 people having visited the opt-in page but not visited the boost page in order for your custom audience to actually populate. Now, it may continue to say ready, but just keep in mind the actual size of your audience is going to be very important. If you only have, say, 150 people within your audience, you're only going to be able to run an ad for maybe a day, maybe 2 or 3 days at the very most, before they continue to see your ad over and over and over and over again, and it's just going to get less and less effective. So the larger your custom audiences are, the more results you're actually going to be able to get pretty easily. And that's it. That's how you put together a Facebook custom audience based on people who have visited your opt-in page but have not visited your boost page. The process would be exactly the same if you wanted to, for the example of our tripwire funnel, choose people who visited the boost page but did not visit the sales page. We would just enter in the URL of the boost page here. We would go back and enter in the URL of the sales page as people to exclude, and then we have a custom audience of everybody who has gone through our boost page, but they did not make it to the sales page. You just repeat that process over and over and over again, including the page that they did visit and excluding the page that you want them to visit, and then you go back and repeat the process. And that's really it. Very, very simple, very easy to do, but massively, massively effective. Thanks for watching this video. My name is JK Dowdle. This is FUNNELIZE, and I'll see you next time.